question for you. Are you, yes, you, the person watching this, the kind of person that says one thing but does another thing? I think to some extent we all are, right? We might have good intentions and maybe we don't intend to make an excuse, but time and things happen. And before you know it, what we intended to do got away from us. So why am I being so inquisitive? I'm just curious on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being woohoo, off the charts, high priority. How much do you prioritize your inner well-being, your spiritual well-being, your soul? So I remember when my journey first started, I was a hot mess. I didn't know what I didn't know, right? In the 20s, in the 30s. And I was flailing about. What was I doing? I was relying on the conditioning, on everything I knew that was handed to me. And that involved taking nerve pills every time you had a feeling. And so in my 20s, I was popping Xanax like they were M&Ms, right? God forbid you have a feeling. Well, as I got into my 30s and I made my fair share of mistakes and decided I didn't want to live anymore and didn't do so good with that either after a divine intervention, I realized that there must be something bigger than I am guiding me, watching out for me, teaching me, mentoring me. I just didn't know how to find it. Now, this was in the 90s, so there was no YouTube rabbit hole. And, when we listened to our mentors, it was on those little cassette tapes. And then eventually we got those CDs, and I had my Sony Walkman and my CD player. And I was a voracious reader. I couldn't read enough. And what I soon began to realize was I was out of alignment. What I was beginning to understand about myself, I wasn't reflecting to the world. I was walking with a foot in both worlds. This world over here of, there is something bigger. I know it. I know there's a soul. I know there's a divine creator. I know it. But over here, I was in the material world. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta achieve, gotta be, gotta have, gotta do. And so I walked a very imbalanced life for a very long time. What did that feel like? Well, it mimicked depression. You might know the dark night of the soul. I became habitual in everything I did, just hoping that one thing I did would soothe whatever I couldn't identify inside of me. And so my addiction was to spending money. Well, if I want to feel better, I better go buy something. And I spent money I didn't have. And so as a result, I have begun, and do begin every day, because it's always a monitoring process, to watch how I spend my money. Just like an alcoholic, when they drink, they have to be careful about who they surround themselves with, what their thoughts are. Is there a drive? What's happening? So why am I telling you all this? I am not somebody who says one thing and does another. I decided that I was going to help spiritually curious women who probably are midlife, because that's usually when it happens. I decided I was going to help them wake up. I was going to help them evolve. I was going to help them have an involution, so that they could evolve into the soul that they came here to be. And so how would I do that? Well, I did it through my private readings. And yes, I still do private readings, but I do it in a mass way through the School of Spiritual Arts. So what is the School of Spiritual Arts? It's basically school for your soul. And so when I say that, I kind of say it in jest, because when we go to school in the School of Spiritual Arts, guess what? The soul is leading us. I'm taking a little bit of everything. I have been given the gift to be the jack of all trades, master of none. And I used to think that was a curse. But what that means is I know enough, confidently know enough, that I can share my experiences to help enhance your journey. Just a little bit of a buffet to give you a taste. And if you want to study astrology because we're going to open that door, you can go find the teacher for you. And guess what? With that said, I have a faculty. I've brought some of the best in to help me teach and grow this school. So, if you are a spiritually curious woman, and you want to say and do what it is that aligns, you need to be checking out the School of Spiritual Arts. So, if you're somebody who's interested, hit reply to this email. If you need a conversation around it and you want to learn more, just ask me. We can converse. But I will tell you this, it is the place where women go to evolve. I'll see you in the school.